And now, the continuation
of War on the Sea. And today it's very, very good to be back. Let me just say before we get started, obviously taking a couple weeks off now after having a week's period or so when I just took some time off anyway, and I was ill. It's been very, very intense cold is what I had wrong with me. Could not speak at all, and just a progressing bad throat after that, but we're all better now, feeling great and excellent to be back. I'm not knowing what to do with myself without YouTube. So it's good to be back and good to see you all again. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting for so long. So today we are going to carry on with our invasion of Melissa and actually decide whether we want to pull out. And to be honest, I think it's looking like we might have to pull out of there. Might try and bombard it with our invasion support task force first, to see if that makes much of a difference, but it's looking like there's just so many thousands of allied troops on there defending the base that we may have to pull out, and the goal might be actually to really focus on sinking enemy cargo ships and such to get to the 300 enemy ships sunk, so that we can get that increased supply pool coming in to really keep up with the invasion on Manila there, so for a re-invasion in the future. So without any further ado, let's get going to the strategic map and see what we can do. There we are, back on the strategic map. So how's it looking on Manila as a refresher? Absolutely terrible. We've had a lot of troops bleed down over the course of days. So 4.8 thousand, even with the 10,000 supplies, is not going to be enough there by far. And if we wait, where are we? Where's invasion support? It's just over here. So this is the one with Ise in it, which will have some bombard power. If we look, that's going to take 9.2 hours. So that will get under there before the next refresh and recalculation of troops and supplies across bases. So we can get in there before we lose any troops, but either way, 4.8 thousand troops is not going to be enough to take on a main base such as this. One that's so well defended, so unfortunately we are going to have to pull out. We're going to take the troops first because your supplies won't burn down if there's 0 troops on there to, you know, go through them and take them down. So we're going to take those first. We have managed to take all of those down and away from Manila with half of our ships here. So that means we do have supplies remaining here. And you know what? I think we were looking at a bit of a problem of integrity on Hong Kong, and we certainly were there. So we can see the integrity is 10. It needs to be 100 really, and that means this number 10 is that we have this week to get some decent supplies on there, to good troop to supply ratio there, to actually source out the integrity. So before it starts degrading, before we start losing the level 1 port that's there. And I do want to build it up really. I want to build the airfield to level 2 perhaps, so that we do get increased command point income. Not that we're really starved of that at the moment, at 224 command points at the moment. And what were we getting per week? We're getting 76. We've got a lot of ships out. So we really have a lot of ships out. The only thing I really want now is perhaps another Yamato. Maybe some more escort CVs. Another Nagato perhaps, so we can be a little more active with the Guam Defence Force. And we'll take it from there really. But what do we actually have to deal with at the moment? Well, we're threatened by a submarine around our carriers over here, so it might be an idea to detach these 2 destroyers here. If we split group over here, they'll have the speed to catch up with that, while our CVs of course go in the opposite direction. Which task force is that now called? 103. That's a lot of task forces we've made over the past 143 days. We'll equip some MLUs with depth charges to escort those. We'll go to task force 103. We've gone past it since it does go through. Is it 104? So I misread that? No, it is 103. Where the bloody hell is that then? Why is it not right next to 104 unless it is right at the bottom? It is indeed. Okay, interesting. I thought it might have, I've always gathered that it separates planes from surface task forces, but not to worry, it's still there. We do see a submarine over here, but there's not really anything over there to contend with that. We could of course send some planes around, but due to an update which did happen quite a while ago now, with the integrity update I believe, You no longer see submarines instantly on the surface when you spot them with aircraft. They will always be submerged now, as they should be, really. Does that add that extra bit of challenge? The weird thing over here, though, is we're seeing attack and fighter aircraft over here towards our homeland Japan. They do have an airfield of level 1 on Iwo Jima. Let's check the range over here. So it's 1,000 kilometers. If these are Wildcats off of here, then they're not going to have the range from Iwo Jima. If they're Hellcats, they will. But you can see the amount of scouting we've got in this general area coming off of Yokosuka and Kure over here. So there might be a carrier out here. Might be a carrier, but we've certainly not spotted it. That's a worry. It's a big old worry. May well be in this void of ocean over here, just outside our radar range, but if it is that close, then Yokosuka may well take a hit there. We do have our supply interceptors with 2 Congos over here patrolling around Iwo Jima. That is picking up some ships here and there. But we're not too sure. We do of course have a battleship task force over here. We need to scout that out. I did move Yamato down from Wake Island and such quite a while ago because it was not picking up anything and it's just wasting time there. So what I might do is actually move that towards truck. And we're going to move that towards truck because we do so often see so many ships coming through here. We should have just placed Yamato here already to start with. That would have been a much better option, to be honest, in hindsight. But you know what? We need to scout Wake Island so that we have that confirmation for sure, so we know what we're doing there. So what are we going to do now? Well, we're just going to wait around. I think we're going to bring back our supplies over here and troops. We're going to pull back Akagi very soon. We're going to let our supplies and such retreat over here. We have more supplies, just a few more supplies, a handful over here coming in. That's not going to be needed now. What we can do is send those back to Del Monte so we can get the integrity back up there. So let's get on that, I think. Let's have a look at the integrity over here. It's 70. We certainly need to get some more supplies around these Philippine bases over here because it will start degrading. And we will start losing the airfields and such on there. So that's going to be an issue there. Let's have a look at where our supplies are then. We have our engineering task force coming back to Kure. We have our minor resupply. Where are they? They're coming down to Saipan and such with engineering, fuel and 1,000 supplies. I am going to send those, I think, down to truck and such just because it's a forward base to resupply from. And that's all we really needed to know, I think. So let's carry on, and I shall see you at the next site of an engagement, I think. Okay, so it's looking like we may have encountered that submarine. We have indeed made sonar contact with it. What do we have over here? We have... Ooh, now the T-class, I think. How many are there in? There's 2. Well, there's only 1 now because we destroyed the Truant earlier with similar tactics. So we're going to go straight ahead. We're going to go absolutely going to go straight ahead towards it. Going to go to a medium speed so we can keep our sonar contact with that, with the Hatsuharu there. Oshio can go around and just maintain sonar contact there. And with that Emily's, I think we're going to take some time. We're not going to level bomb this. We're going to go to a fairly low altitude there, slow down, and what they can do is actually they can turn around a tad, let them dive down, and then they can start attacking the submarine there. What we can do is start to approach this, keep a sonar contact, and make sure we don't get hit by torpedoes, of course. Is it firing off torpedoes? It does appear so. We can see the stream ahead of us there. So we're going to increase our turn. Increase the rudder shift there. I'm not entirely sure where those are aimed for. Are they making that turn? Yep, they're making that single turn that we get. We are going to just reverse, I think, with the Oshio. We'll watch our turn on that. We're going to have to turn in a little more to these torpedoes, I think. Really got to watch this. How are those looking? Let's keep turning like that, I think, over here. And I think we want to slow down a tad over here. That's not looking too bad on the Hatsuharu at all, is it? So let's actually come to a crawl there. Watch our speed, maintain sonar contact, and I think watch our turn here as well. And I think we're looking okay there. Turn our stern so that we can start facing the submarine there. We can see it's trying to get out. If we look at the map over here, it is turning away. So what we're going to do is increase our speed once again so we can keep right on top of that ship. And there we go. Tell you what, we will increase our speed here to a positive. And what we will do is get on the back of that and keep maintaining a sonar contact. With the Emilys, we will double check that they're not faffing around with their nav points there. Slow them down a tad more. We're guessing it's a very nice altitude to actually drop onto that submarine. What we're going to do this time is give them a proper attack order from here. And that should be very, very nice indeed. If we slow down once again with this destroyer, I don't want to risk... there is quite a bit of distance, but I don't want to risk hitting the destroyer with our depth charges there. Oh, excuse me, throat getting just weirdly a bit dry there. Let's watch the drop. Getting right on top of that. We do have a lot of depth charges per Emily here. There you go, that is absolutely fantastic. Making contact in the water there. Will they get the timing on the fuse right? Let's get rid of the UI there. Oh, look at that. Oh, you love to see it. Oh. Would have liked a little bit more of a lead on that, but so many very close detonations there. We're going to have to increase our speed here and get right on top of this, aren't we? What I could do here, as one of you very nicely pointed out a while ago, is I could of course give an attack order to the Hatsuharu here. Absolutely can get depth charge attacks off from the AI here, but I very much like to go manual with these things. Let's take a report on that though. Heavy damage to critical flooding, as you may well expect. I think it's just a matter of time waiting for that to flood out. You can see on the speed down here, it is going at 2 knots. That's incredibly slow for something that's meant to be trying to get away. So, and yeah, it is sinking. There we go, you can see it there. Exploding. So that's both English or you know British submarines gone there, and those are very, very nasty submarines indeed, with the biggest amount of tubes facing the front there, which is very, very nasty indeed. We're trying to hunt down a cargo force overhead. Just trying to find the zeros we sent out over there. Which group is it? So this one, there we go. So we can see they are going straight towards that. Not a problem at all. I will just mark that because we're going to lose sight over there. And hopefully that'll be the next point of interest there. So see you in just a second. Okay, so I think we're a little late on spotting this, but that's absolutely fine. We're in the cover of night, we're not going to get hit. We are finally in the position to bombard Manila, and I think we are going to bombard it as much as we can. We're going to expend all our ammunition here. So we're going to go shore bombardment 1. You can see it's not done anything for the first one. 2, and we'll go for a third. 3. And that is all of our ammunition on our battleships and heavy cruisers there. So at Manila, level 3 port and a level 4 airfield. So we did only bring that down the once there, which is rather unfortunate there. We are going to take the opportunity to load up any extra supplies here. And that will be, of course, on our destroyers. Can't unfortunately carry them on heavy cruisers or battleships, so there's not a hell of a lot taken there, but we will reclaim what is ours there. We can probably leave the supplies there, so they're there for the future. It's not like we're too pressed on supplies, I don't think. Tell you what, we'll bring those over to Formosa. That'd be very nice indeed. We do need a few supplies over there. Not entirely great on these troop ratio stuff over there. We are at 100% though. Might actually need us on Kaling a bit more, so I think we'll redivert it over there later on. How are we looking over here? Not too bad. We'll get some income soon, and that'd be absolutely lovely. So let's carry on. This came out of nowhere. This might well be a job for Yamato and of course Nagato. Well, certainly Nagato, the Guam Defense Force. I thought this might just be a couple sneaky merchant ships here, but now we've got 10 ships here. It's a real invasion force. Let's have a look at what we've got. Certainly 1, 2, 3. What's over here? 4. Is it 4, 5 maybe? Unless I've miscounted. That's a lot of transport ships. There's a lot of transport ships. We do have 23 zeros here. It looks like they are only escorted by destroyers and destroyer escorts. They will have a lot of flak though. A Clemson troop transport as well. So that's yeah, it's got some things on it. Can't discount those at all. Really can't discount them. So I'm just going to have to get strafing. Quite likely not then too much of an issue here, since we do have a huge amount of zeros. Just got to pick these off one by one, focus them down, because unfortunately zeros won't get a lot done in small groups. But not to worry, we are forming up. What are we looking at visibility wise? 49%, but we are right on top of them, so it's not going to make much of a difference there. But what we can do is, yeah, we're going to keep our altitude fairly high to begin with. And we're going to get out of direct sight over there, come to their rear. I don't believe I said this is right on top of Guam and Saipan, heading towards Guam. So that's not great. Really not great at all. We're going to improve our spacing here very briefly while we get out of their direct line of fire, and we'll see how they maneuver. What we want to go for, I think, is this, I believe, an Arcturus over here to begin with. Bloody allies, they come in with all sorts of surprises, aren't they? Was the defense of Manila just not good enough? I suppose not. That was easy for them. Very, very easy for them to deal with. Retreated of our own accord there. So, yeah, not too difficult to deal with now that we've spotted it, but it will be a problem if they land. So we're going to dive down now. We're going to reduce our spacing. Let's need to get everyone on the form up there. And we're still, I think, looking at this Arcturus here, because Arcturus can carry both a good amount of supplies and troops. Of course not at the same time, but either way, it's going to be rather integral to their invasion effort. And we're travelling at a decent speed here, decent altitude, just need to weather the storm of all of this AA. Might be an idea really to go for some sort of destroyer first to reduce the AA. So I might actually go for this one over here and just get straight on top of that. Might have to fiddle around with our dive. That's actually not looking too bad, is it? With the amount of zeros there, that may well go down quite easily. Yeah, look at those explosions. Very, very nice indeed. Very, very nice indeed. But we have lost, was that 2 or 3 zeros there? Not great at all. Now, it's 2 zeros, not the worst, but so early on the first strike, not ideal for sure. Tell you what we can do is actually manually turn around, reduce our speed, and actually go for this. Is it a C2 or a Harris? Doesn't matter. It is not very long for this world, hopefully. Just make sure we get that turn before we do issue an attack order, and it looks like we're doing okay, so that's brilliant. Very practiced hand at strafing large amounts of ships. And our magazine cargo explosion, we're forming up, and we're actually going to get straight onto this British transport here. British transports do not carry a lot of troops or supplies at all, but they do carry them. They do very much carry them. So gonna let that magazine cargo explosion work its magic there. We are going to make sure everyone's attacking here, because I'm not entirely sure they are. There we go, that's looking better, isn't it? But we didn't get the biggest amount of firepower on that, and we are going to have to form up once again. We've lost a very unhealthy amount of zeros here, and we're running out of ammunition, so we're going to increase our altitude, increase our speed, and just move, really, so that we're out of that AA, and take a quick report. This is number 9 sinking, that first one's sinking, and the number 5, the cargo ship behind over here, is sinking, and this is sinking as well. Very, very good news indeed. So that's a destroyer escort down, and a rather more modern one as well. We're going to have to posthumously identify that because there's so many to choose from. If we go through the list here just to illustrate that a bit better. Let's have a look at destroyer escorts. So of course it's not a Clemson or a Wicks, it could be any of these though, and they all have quite a large amount. 85 on the Edsalls, 102 on the Buxleys, 65 on the Everts. It's just ridiculous. But how are we looking for ammunition across the board here? I think we've certainly got enough for one more strafing run. And one more strafing one we will get. I think we're still going to go for perhaps this ship. Really comes down to our own knowledge of what these ships like to focus on. Do they like to focus on supplies or troops? And I think these ships prefer to focus on troops. They have a greater capacity for those. So what we're going to do is actually target the number 10 here. I believe that's a C2 or a Harris over there. Going to manoeuvre down then once again, and we're going to climb down or dive down a little bit here. Keep a decent speed as we're moving in, and target number 10 properly. There we are. Going to compress time, of course. It's all go. I've barely been recording for like 20 minutes. It's ridiculous. Alright, let's dive down once again, because that's not a good enough height there, and we're right on top, so we're going to have to reduce our speed. Absolutely have to reduce our speed here. We may have messed us up a tad. Let's see what we can do here. That's actually looking decent. That's looking very bloody good. That's looking ruddy bloody good indeed. A magazine cargo explosion. We, in that case, are going to test our luck and go for this ship over here. If we get everyone to attack that. Might have to reduce our speed, but it's a bit too late there, so we're just going to go for it. Really run and gun. Blast and put that ship in the past. And that's very nice fire on it. Where would that be? Critical to heavy. It is the number 1, isn't it? So that might well burn down. If we get everyone to form up, increase our spacing once again, and just get out really. The number 10 is sinking from that cargo explosion there, and that's excellent. So really, with the fires on this, you would expect it to go down. We do have a little bit of ammunition left. It's actually some of our planes completely out. So I think it might just be a quick burst, but the quick burst will be into the sea as we get our aim corrected on the approach there. So that might as well be lost ammunition as far as we're concerned, but this may well be going down very soon, so let's keep an eye out on that. And there we go, that supply ship did in fact burn down in the end. So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with two real troop transports left and a few destroyers, of course one Clemson troop transports. 8 command points, 5 ships sunk, cannot complain at all. Let's have a look at our total sinkages. You can see that was right here, right on top of us there. Very, very lucky spot. I'd imagine that will retreat now, but we might as well chase that down. What we're going to look at is total enemy losses, because we're getting very close to 300. Where are we? It'd be good to refresh our minds. Yeah, so 265. That does not leave many at all to sink now. So we really have to, more than ever, go for all of the troop transports that we sight. So, having said that, we need to remove the rest of this task force here. Might as well use the planes on Guam here. We can go for Bessies with torpedoes for the larger ships, I think, and then come in with some zeros. Might as well just use our zeros from the CVs. We get the Bessies out as a distraction, as some solid targets there, because we are somewhat limited now on Kate. So we have 18 on Kaga. Did launch those zeros from the Shokaku. If we come out over here, it's just a case of making sure we do keep sight on that now. But if it's within our radar range, that will come up as soon as possible. We are going to move Guam Defense Force right on top of Guam, just in case that does try and come in. We will have enough troops and supplies to defend both Guam and Saipan from what they have now, but at the same time, don't want to let them land, really. Just don't want to let them land. I've got a funny feeling that the best way of preventing landing is actually preventing a landing. So let's go in there and see what we can do about that. So let's try and scout this out. We do have possible CV task force over here. We do need to scout this out. We're going to go in with 6 Bessies. I imagine that's just some merchant shipping, but we'll have to see. Let's go. Okay, so as you can see, we have re-established contact with that retreating now invasion task force, which we hit with these zeros. Very lucky to catch that, actually, because they weren't within our radar range. What we're going to do with the zeros then is, of course, reduce the enemy's flak by going for this Benson Gleaves over here. I think is probably the best decision at the moment. We're going to reduce our speed right down, and of course our altitude, to a very decent strafing altitude there. Going to try and go straight in on that, are we? How close are we? I think we might just be able to make that with a slow speed there. And we'll bring the Bessies round over here, and they can go for the cargo ship in the centre here. I think they do, of course, need to reduce their altitude to a torpedo-friendly altitude. Once again, we are carrying torpedoes on these planes. We'll take 3 torpedoes down that, so we'll see about that, see what we can do. We do, of course, have a supply ship over here, but I believe this might be a slightly easier target. It's a bit bigger, just a bit bigger for our torpedoes there to hit. We are running the gauntlets a bit here with our zeros, but not to worry. Our spacing is once again rather large. Let's tighten up a bit. Might help a tad over there, but I think at the end of the day we just need to give them an attack order and they'll sort themselves out, really. What we will do is, I think the Emily's, or Bessies rather, are doing okay there, to be honest. Their nav points, yeah, they're turning in now, so that's all good. Nice little distraction from the Zeros here, if anything. And I am going to hope to get down as many ships here as possible, seeing as though we're very, very close to getting 300 enemy ships sunk. And getting down the destroyers, actually very nice little victories here and there. Very, very nice indeed. We see less of those because the Americans do have so many to call from, don't they? What's the damage looking like on their critical to heavy? I would wager that's going down. So what we're going to do is turn back round and go for this Clemson over here. If we just reduce our speed once again, of course help our turn and get time on the target there, we are going to have to watch the turn on this cargo ship here, unfortunately. That does look like it's turning in towards us, doesn't it? May have to keep an eye on that. May well have to keep an eye on that. We are going fairly slow with our Zeros here, but it's not to worry. Getting reformed over here. Do like them to come in as one group when they're strafing, just to intensify the fire there. But I think what we can do is actually speed our Betties up a tad and have to watch those, just so they come in on that ship a little quicker. We can get our Zeros to attack that Clemson over there. So this ship, massive list on the bow there. Look at that. Really, really horrible. We are going to, I think, turn in manually here and just reduce our speed a tad to help our turn there. And actually that's not looking too bad lead-wise there, but we will tell them to attack a little closer. Looking like we're getting a very nice strafe onto this Clemson over here. Absolutely brilliant. Of course, as we've learned, for those who have been very kind enough to watch the stream we've been doing recently, which hasn't been so regular, unfortunately, to apologise as we thought, we found out the hard way that Clemson's have no AA to speak of. Really have zero AA to speak of. It looks like we've lost a Bessie before they've dropped, so we may well have to strafe that down. Running out of ammo though, are we? I've accidentally told this to attack, which is rather strange. So what we'll do is we'll have to give those separate orders once again. The number 5 is sinking. And that is the Clemson there. It looks like they've even missed with the torpedoes there, so that was a terrible attack. Really should have gone for that first. Yeah, only just skirting past the bow there. Rather nasty indeed. What we will do is secure the kill on the number 4 Benson Gleaves over here. That ship just not looking like it's going to burn down by itself there, unfortunately. Just a little bit more of some encouraging fire on that would be absolutely brilliant. I don't think we really need to optimise our approach there. I think we just need to go in while we can, to be honest. So any more fire on that would be absolutely ideal. You can see we've knocked out the 2 front guns over here, which is excellent. So that's 2 flak turrets just disappeared there. One of the back ones getting some very nice hits in by the sounds of it. So down another 0. Had a great time, have they, our Zeros recently? There's another one down. Horrible. So that's critical. Really lackluster attack in general, really, isn't it? That one is going down, and I think in the name of preservation, we are going to have to retreat here. Our ammo not looking great. I don't think we're going to get another successful strafe off, but that's not to worry. Not to worry at all. At least we know now that these ships are in fact retreating. Lost another 0 on the retreat there. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Might have helped if we increased our altitude though on the retreat, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is retreat out of there. Let's go. They're not firing at us anymore. We're out of their range. 2 command points, 2 ships lost, and that is excellent. So let's return to our CVs. Like so. We do see some bombers coming off. I imagine from, I don't know, there's a level 1 airfield there. Maybe Tawi, maybe Manila. I don't know where they're pulling these from. I don't think they can get these bombers from level 1 airfields, but I have been proven wrong before. We have sighted, of course, another merchant shipping convoy over here, so we're certainly going to launch. I think the Bessies are not a bad shout, so we're going to do those. And I think to double check on that, are we able to launch? Maybe there's no need to wait 0.3 hours, it's not a problem. We can go for that, of course. We're going to get Fighting Force 2 down. There was a small threat over here, but I think it's just misidentification of these merchant ships over here. So let's get going and see if we can get one more engagement in there, because that is a very nice first video back, I think. Otherwise, let's keep going. Okay, so scouting outside Iwo Jima. This is just south of Iwo Jima. We've sighted a battleship task force. Looks like a Pennsylvania over here. Very, very nasty standard class battleship indeed. This is, I suppose, outbound going towards Wake Island. So it's not too much of a threat at the moment. I don't really want to rush our two Congos over here. The two Congos should be able to deal with a standard class battleship, a British light cruiser. What else do we have over here? An Omaha, and that's about it really. As well as our heavy cruisers. It's tempting to take that actually, very tempting. But of course, we've learned the hard way in a previous series. Congos rather they like to take magazine explosions. That's what we're trying to say. So we might be erring on the side of caution for this particular task force. If we do take a surface engagement, we will try and batter it. You can see it's very, very close. This is actually right over. Let's just mark that up so that we can remember that. So that's a battleship task force that is on our Congo's patrol path there. It looks like they're not repeating that though, so what we'll do is we'll keep that coming. We'll patrol more over towards here, really stay away from the airfield. They were still getting so many scouts come out here. If we look over here, that is outside of the Kingfisher's range, and to have so many catapult launched aircraft here does suggest there's something about. We do have a lot of scouting over here. I don't know what we're missing. I really don't know what we're missing. Just awareness, I think, to be honest. Meanwhile, we have sighted a lot of cargo ships over here. We're going to go from Peleliu. We're going to launch some Mavises, I think, with 2 torpedoes each. We're going to go for this one, which is identified as a carrier task force at the moment, but I will put money on that just being some cargo ships. So we'll do this. And that is just re-establishing. That's a different contact over here. Let's have a look at that. What have we got? We have a couple of destroyers. So that's a Cleveland, I believe. A couple more destroyers. Let's have a look. That's 2 American light cruisers, is it? Yeah, so that's a Cleveland there. There's one there, is it? Okay, interesting. Interesting. Just a couple, yeah. Just start patrolling, I suppose. No worries, that's definitely something our Congos can take on. If we mark that up, that was around here-ish, wasn't it? We'll put that as cruiser. There we go. And we'll jump into this engagement over here, and I think that will about wrap us up for today, guys. Not the longest of episodes, but certainly a strategically sound one. Let's get going. Okay, so with our Mavises here, we can only attack the one ship, but that's not a problem at all. It will certainly go down if 2 Mavises get on target. So we've got an Arthur Middleton and a Cimarron. We're going to go for the Arthur Middleton. Because it will be carrying either troops or supplies. I'm not so worried if they get fuel over to a base of theirs, the bloody Allies, of course. If anything, fuel will be a free upgrade on a future invasion for us. So if we reduce our speed right down here, because we are going to have to turn in tight, compress time for just a little too long there. Being able to turn right in here, just turning out a tad to get a wider turn there, but the fact that they're turning into us does not help at all there. and we won't give an attack order until we are facing them. The Mavises, even with this slow speed, of course they do not have the maneuverability. We've lost a Mavis. Absolutely disgusting. It looks like we were keeping those 120 meters as well. May well have ruined that a bit. There we go. Let's get them up. Get the speed up. Terrible attack there. Should have been very easy as well. Wait for these to miss. We've lost all of the Mavises. Absolutely disgusting. We'll edit this bit out. There we go. That's 2 hits, but I'm not guaranteeing a sinkage there with 2 there. But it's very concentrated on the bow. That might turn out to be a very heavy list on the bow there to bring that down. If you take a report, what's that looking like? Heavy to heavy. We may have to finish this off with some Bessies, you know. Mavis is, of course, a very easy target for small arms fire. Very, very easy target. Made of very flammable fuel are the Mavises. More so than Bessies? Oh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't think that's going to go down though. We'll wait around a bit and I'll get back to you. Well, you can bet your ass that Arthur Middleton didn't sink, but by happy mistake we've actually encountered a different task force here. So hopefully we do hit these flush with 3 torpedoes each. We do have 6 Bessies out here. We're going to hit, you know, 1 group on 1 ship over here, 3 torpedoes per ship. And with this British oiler, you can't miss. Surely you can't miss. It's huge. And we do have a C3 over here, which is not that much longer than an Arthur Middleton. Does allow for some good spacing as such with your torpedo attacks. So we are charging straight in with this group of Bessies over here. We are going to have to slow down for our torpedoes to be effective. I'm going to turn out a little here. Looks like they're turning in once again. Rather they turned out a tad actually. That does help us a little. Just deciding when exactly to turn in, really to hit this properly. Looks like we're going to have to slow down with our Bessies over here as well, and I think really it'd be okay to tell these to attack from here. It is just this group on the C3 we're going to have to watch out for, and I will slow down a bit more just to get this slightly tighter turn off there. And I think that's actually not looking too bad for an attack over here. They're deciding what to do because we've told them to attack the wrong target. That's absolutely fine. In that case, what we'll do is we have got confused. Once again, might have to watch this. Might actually have to watch this a little. Might have turned out a little too much there with that wrong attack order. Yeah, we're going to have to rejig this. Not worry. Very professional. Let's turn up there and just get out for a second. But we're looking okay over here. Might actually want to line ahead with this. Form up. There we go. Yeah, lost a Bessie over there. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, you just can't get it right, can you? I swear. Take any sort of break and you just lose it. But those should all hit flush. We need to increase our altitude there. They all hit on the bow there. That should all be good. Looking decent. 1, 2, and a 3. Excellent. So with these Bessies, we will turn around for the attack once again. We will reduce that altitude for that as well, I think. We'll turn around and definitely try and hit that C3. Let's really push time forwards there a bit. Turn around for that tight turn. And that is going down. That's absolutely brilliant. You're going to do as I say. There we go. That's brilliant. I'm going to increase our speed a tad there so we get in a little quicker. Don't want to spend too much time under that nasty flak fire. Very, very simple but horrible mistake to make there by not keeping track of which Bessies are targeting which ship. I usually go for the top first groups to attack their #1 ships. That's the mistake we were making. That's a massive lead there. That's a massive, massive lead there. Not too confident with that one. Should have done that one manually, I think. Yeah, that's huge lead. Huge lead. Don't know what our pilots are thinking there. Panicking, I think. But not to worry. One more cargo ship down there and we can retreat out, I think. They're not firing at us anymore. We are very safe. Let's get out before we embarrass ourselves any further. So we are currently standing. Should bring us up to 173, I believe. Where are we? 272, that's it. Brilliant stuff. So that is all we have time for today. We're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. I hope you enjoyed the video. Very much enjoyed being back and presenting to you once again. We are going back to a normal schedule once again this week. So I shall see you at the usual time once again. Thank you for watching, and I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.